Hi and welcome to Play It Loud. This particular video has been held up twice. Once, and I have no affiliation here because I've been listening to Boom Radio, the radio station for people who like the music that we like, and I'll just give a shout out for them. I couldn't turn myself away from one of their rock programs. And secondly, what's driven this is the release of Little Feat's last record album, remastered with demos, live tracks, bits and pieces. And I'm a great Little Feat fan. I was fortunate enough to see them in O2 a few years ago. And a quick recap for those of you who don't know Little Feat. Perhaps you'd know them through a single, Dixie Chicken, which was widely played back in the day. They've made lots of albums, but their first 4 or 5 albums in particular were the albums they made with a guy called Lowell George, and he wrote most of the songs, played slide guitar. He'd originally played with Mothers of Invention with Frank Zappa, and Zappa wasn't known to employ people who weren't technically brilliant. He also wasn't known to employ people who argued with him, and Lowell George got kicked out and Little Feat started. Little Feat were and are technically brilliant. If any band ever held down the beat, it was Little Feat. Absolutely superb syncopation, wonderful musicianship. That applies to every album they've ever released, even one released earlier this year, which, there's only maybe 3, perhaps 4 surviving members, but they never lost it. Let's go back to the first 4 or 5 albums, and in particular to the last record album. I looked to see what the track listings were on this, and it looked to me as if the CD was giving much better value than the LP, and I'm a vinylista, much prefer LPs. So I streamed it, and I was wrong. The live Little Feat that is on the CD is okay, but it sounds to me like an FM recording. They were never bad live, but the quality leaves a bit to be desired. If you want Little Feat live, or for that matter, if you've never heard or got anything by Little Feat, start there. Waiting for Columbus is, in my opinion, the best live rock album that's ever been released. And I got dozens of Grateful Dead live albums and dozens of Doors live albums and dozens of Rolling Stones albums. No, Little Feat's Waiting for Columbus is top 5 album. It's brilliant. That's the only word to put it. So, okay, you want a live one? Go for that. Now, if it's not live, Dixie Chicken is what they were known for. This has the second version of what was Lowell George's most famous song after Dixie Chicken, a track called Willing. That must have been covered almost as many times as Yesterday. I could think of half a dozen off the top of my head. Steve Earle, I know, did a copy. I think even Emmylou Harris did a version. It turns up everywhere. It's just one of those. What did Roy Wood say? It's one of those songs that keeps him in a pension, or would. Sadly, Lowell George died quite a long time ago, but I'm sure his family will be happy. So, Willing is the album. Willing is the track on the Dixie Chicken album. It's also on Little Feat's first album, but they re-recorded it and made a better job of it. Okay, next, Sailing Shoes. Sailing Shoes, super album. I'm bound to say that, aren't I? This is about Little Feat, and these extra big editions available at all good record stores. they are not expensive, not for what you're getting, because what you're getting is an awful lot. Feet Don't Fail Me Now. Come on, what a perfect title for a Little Feat album. And I have to say, probably my favourite Little Feat track, Feet Don't Fail Me Now. They always did it live, but only lasted 3 or 4 minutes. It was one of those tracks like Hey Jude that could have gone on for some considerable time and didn't. And then, yeah, and that's a pity. But not to replace this, to go with it. It's where I started. Little Feat, the last record album. There's a track on here. Where are we? Can you read that? Got to be honest, I'm struggling. And I know their stuff. No, the track on here is, they made a film of this, a video of it back in the 70s. It would have been around the mid 70s, well before MTV time, and I'm sure you can get it on YouTube. I recommend it. Yeah, look it up. It takes 2 minutes, and the record's only 2 minutes 50 seconds, something like that. I haven't bothered to check, but it's short. It encapsulates lovely romantic rock and roll song of the era, and I think it's the best track on the album, but it's got some stiff competition. So if you don't know Little Feat, Waiting for Columbus, please play it loud. If you do know Little Feat, I'm going to be putting in an order for the vinyl version of the remastered album. It sounds great, and some of the demos on that remastered album also sound great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it. When I do, I'll play it loud. Please subscribe. Cheers.